Okay, there you go. So on today's agenda, we're just going to start with some welcome and introductions. I am Tiana, and I am the Business Development Support Specialist. And I'll be working with Mentor Mondays and just being the support staff here. And then we're going to start with the presentation that Nicole has and any Q&As. So at Sheridan, we are an incubator that's right out of Sheridan. We provide inclusive and support impact entrepreneurs. We offer mentorship, learning programs, and co-working spaces and funding. And we connect entrepreneurs to Sheridan's talent, expertise, and resources. So these are the programs that we have at Edge. Explore, Lead, Rise, and Store. We start off with Explore with the startup ventures, and then we go to Soar when you can reach your, we can scale your venture to ensure growth. And today our mentor is Diego. He is our Edge mentor, and he is a social entrepreneur, consultant, community builder, advisor, and mentor. He also leads the mentorship program and mentors social purpose organization at Edge. And today's special guest, I'd like to welcome Nicole. She is actually based in Ecuador right now, which is very cool and very warm there. So jealous. She is the Senior Communication Manager at Semrush, and she also has a passion for branding, creative projects, and business optimization. I'd like to pass it to Diego.
Well, thanks for that introduction, Tiana. And Nicole, welcome. It's going to be exciting to learn lots about how Semrush can support entrepreneurs along their journey, especially with regards to digital marketing. I think it's more important now than ever, now that we happen to be in this situation where lots of things are happening virtual. I also want to give a shout out to Garrett, who's also one of our mentors here at Edge. Complete powerhouse in the world of digital marketing. Some of you who have had the opportunity to have one-on-one sessions with him can attest to how awesome his approach is. And so welcome, Garrett. Just wanted to give you a shout out, man. Good to have you. All right. Well, in that case as well, welcome everyone. Thank you for showing up today. And then what we're gonna do now is we're gonna pass it over to Nicole. So she can begin to share her presentation. But I wanted to make sure that you get a chance to connect with us on our social media. At the end, we'll post Tatiana will post our social media handles and also more information around where you can get in touch with us if you have any questions. And so we'll do it at the end. But yeah, Nicole, whenever you're ready, shift it over to you.
Cool. Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me be here on. Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole. I'm not just also the Senior Communications Manager at Semrush, but I also do their influencer marketing campaigns. So if you guys have any question about that as well, I'm happy to answer any questions. Basically, what I'm going to do today, a brief overview of what SEO is. Am I breaking up? A little bit, right?
I think you're good now.
A little bit. Okay, I'll be slower. I'm going to do an overview of SEO for anybody that is in the beginning stages, so you can kind of understand in the easiest terms possible. And then afterwards, I'm going to go over how Semrush can help you in your everyday if you're trying to kick off your business by yourself, or if you're working for an agency, so you can kind of implement the tool your everyday use. Feel free to ask any questions in the box. No question is a dumb question. I don't come from an SEO background. It went before I started, so really you can ask about anything possible. I'll try to simplify it as much as I can.
And Nicole, you also have a startup background, right?
I do, yes. Before this, I worked for a startup agency. We created an app platform in Miami. And I have my own startup in Prague as well. We do events and happenings up there. So I'm kind of all over the place, but keeping it fun.
Awesome.
Okay. So I will share my screen now. Please let me know if you guys see it once I share it. All good?
See you.
Awesome. Cool. So basically everything that we're going to go over is an intro of what SEO is. The main parts of the tool that of Semrush that I'm going to present is our keyword research, voice search optimization, which we don't currently do, but it's something that's really important. That's going to be actually probably, I think, in the next year, the biggest thing for us to do search terms, not just in how we search online within our template, but voice search. Duplicated content, how to make sure that that's something that you avoid if you're creating content for your website, which is one of the biggest ways for you to be more searchable. Content management, so how to create content and what are tools within how to actually create content, because if any of you guys are creators, you probably know that sometimes we get some stops and we don't know what else to write about or how we can actually be helpful for our website. So we'll help you guys out how to kick out different topics on there. And link building. I know it's really iffy for a lot of people, link building, you know, with black hat, white hat, and I'll do some acronyms and I'll explain them what they actually mean. But if you are trying to be more visible as well and connect with other businesses, it's another strategy that we can help you with. And it's actually very simple for you to do within our tool. And then a bonus part, I'm just going to briefly go over an economics trend research study that we have recently done. We've been tracking it over since the beginning of the pandemic and then just seeing the trends. If any of you guys are working in e-commerce, it's really interesting to see how that's developing throughout this year because of the pandemic and how we probably will progress. So what is SEO? Well, it stands for search engine optimization. And the simplest way that I can explain, and I always say it this way because I didn't really understand, because you hear so many acronyms when you're starting digital marketing world, you're like, what is going on? I don't understand half of what everybody's saying. But I would say this, if you're think of the busiest street of your sidewalk or in your community in your city, and you have two different pizza shops and they're both battling to get more business within. So your SEO will help you bring more people to walk into your business, but think about the business will be your website. So what you do is make sure that people have a more visibility or understanding of that pizza shop is there. It could be maybe hidden, but the fact that everybody talks about it more, that they have more collaborations with other people, they're more visible what they're doing within the community, then they're more visible for people to have walk-ins, which walk-ins would be visits, your website visits. So that's probably the easiest way that I can explain. SEO is basically how people are, we want to reach the top. The main goal is for you to reach the top 10 on Google. Let's say if I'm searching best black boots online, you want to make sure that you're in the first 10 because nobody really clicks on the next page if you really think about it when you're searching for something. So that's the main goal. But what's interesting about this is that it's organic. You're not paying for anything on there. If you do, then that's a different concept, and that's basically paid search, and you're paying for ads in order to be on top, but you can probably see it on top of Google. So that's the easiest way I can explain it. The main goal is for you to be most visible, top 10 on Google for any business possible. And that has a website, of course, because you're visible on Google. And should this worry us? It shouldn't worry us because this is something that we saw that within the pandemic, everybody is going online pretty much. So even if you're not having a business, but you have a podcast, if you're trying to make yourself visible as a person, it's huge. So I think most of you guys have a background that you're probably beginning your own businesses. So that should be your biggest metric. But pretty much everybody and even social media is now considered a search engine. So anything that could be searched is doable. So it's actually within our benefit now that everything is probably online. So 92% of users use Google to investigate the products and anything that interests them, even if it's searching something for different social media metrics. So that's interesting to know. But another interesting point is that we only just use Google, but there's other search engines like Bing.com, which I'm sure back in the day when it was developing, you guys probably used it, not so much. But the biggest one is Google. So we try to always work with their metrics and what their data is collaborating and connecting together. Like I was mentioning, the search engines, mostly everybody, as you can share, you see Google is the biggest one, but then we also have Bing, Yahoo, Baidu, DuckDuckGo, Yandex. There's some people that do create campaigns specifically for these other search engine markets, but I would suggest if you're starting to just really focus on Google first. And then if you see that your community is mostly searching on Bing and Yahoo, maybe it's something you can think about, but I would really just focus on Google for starters. And 90% of the users visit websites that appear first results of search engine. So as I was mentioning, if you're going to look for the best black boots, you're pretty much as an experience as you can tell yourself, you're going to click on the first two. Whatever it feels like no one's really trying to sell me something, because it makes you seem that it's genuine and real. And this is what's so interesting about SEO. And this is what I learned for myself, and probably as a producer for you guys to understand, is that you're trying to answer the public. You're not trying to sound savvy and amazing to look like you're more, I don't know, ranking on a better from your competitor. What you want to do is attract for someone to jump into your website. So that's what's really interesting on here, is that, as I was saying, if I have a cool and that blog street that I was mentioning, if I have a pizza shop and I look more trendy and I'm not putting so much advertising, I'm not making it complicated, just pizza, pepperoni, people are coming in and out, everything looks nice, I'm probably going to have more visitors. So it's the same thing with being visible with your websites. You want to make sure that the content that you're putting out there, and the first words that people see, it's something that's relatable for them, and it's going to answer their question right away for them to understand where they're going to be jumping onto. The number one result of Google has the highest organic CTR. So CTR is click to rate. Organic means that it's natural. So as I was mentioning earlier, Google is probably the best place, the search engine, to work on the most for starters. Just want to check in. We don't have any questions so far. We're all good. Okay. So 75% of people investigate blogs, forums, and opinion guides before making a purchase. So this is more tender to e-commerce related websites. For example, if you're going to buy something on Amazon, you're not just going to buy it if you see the good reviews. You're probably going to do a little bit more research if people are talking about it on Reddit, depends on the place, because I know, yes, ask your question or other search engines that people are talking about your product, it's tentatively, you're probably going to be purchasing it more. So that's another great way for you to optimize your e-commerce website to make sure you're being trending, not only good reviews on specifically, let's say Amazon, but other ask forums and opinion guides. Are people clicking on the page results? So that's what you want to make sure that people are doing. If they see any page results, you want to make sure that you're visible on there, and they'll be able to make sure that they basically answers your question, and they'll probably have a high rate for you to jump onto your site. Google Desktop Search since September 2019, you see that the most people that are clicking on there are organic, and organic is free. That's basically not paid. As a user, I'm not sure about you guys, but for me, if I see a bunch of ads and it says paid ad, I'm probably not in time to basically click on it. So that's why SEO is really, really important. The second is 0 clicks on searches, or then we have paid clicks, but that's when you obviously see it's really in your face. This is just on Google, because we know that on, for example, Instagram, that we have a bunch of ads pop in, or probably a higher chance for us to click on there, but that's something different. And mobile browser search clicks, again, we see that it's the highest second to the zero-click searches, which is a really important point for everybody to make on here. Google's SEO data information is most probable to be focused on mobile search, meaning that the way that you are searching on your mobile device could be different than the way that you're searching online, meaning on your desktops or HPs or something, or something like, let's say, iPad. So it's really important to check what are the mobile site keywords, because they tend to be smaller phrases, and that's another different tactic for you to search your SEO. So Google is now focusing and making it a priority for mobile search keywords, not desktop. It used to be the other way around, but we see now that most of us are just using devices online with our phone. So that's probably why. Now you have to take it seriously, right? Before it was SEO was just a word that we didn't understand what it meant, and yes, Diego, you had a question. You're muted.
Sorry about that. I was hoping you'd see my hand being raised. Someone asked a question
Yeah.
around whether Semrush works with SparkToro.
No, we don't. We work with Yoast, but that's the only one that we work with.
Oh, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So now we have to take this seriously, right? Because before, SEO was something that we didn't think about, because maybe it's intimidating. It's a search or a term that was, I don't know, probably pushed us away. But now that we see it, we want to gain more traffic. And technically, if you have an e-commerce or you have a website, more traffic you have to your site, the more probable or visible that you are, and the more conversion you're going to have to whatever your business is driving to their website. But don't worry, Semrush will help you to understand the metrics of your website and how you can optimize it and how you're going to be more visible and rank top 10. Obviously, it's going to take some time because we're battling with pretty much the whole world since it's something that's organic. But if you create these tactics, you'll be there in no time. So the following strategy will help you improve your SEO with using Semrush. Keyword research. And I'm going to jump a little bit back and forth from our tool. Since this is a small group, that way you guys can kind of see how the tool works. And afterwards we finish, I'm going to send you a link. That way you guys will be able to have a free 1-month guru plan, so you guys can play with it a little bit more. So keyword research, and I'm just going to jump back and forth really quickly. So that way it would be easier for you guys to now kind of navigate and understand how our tool works, and then you could use it in your own terms. I'm just going to move this really quickly. So our keyword magic tool is probably our biggest and best tool possible because it gives you all the metrics of the keyword. So SEO is being searchable based on keywords, and you want to have specific keywords that you're most searched for. Basically the same thing, but backwards. And we probably don't know what are the keywords we're trying to be searched for, right? So I'm just going to go with Nike because it's a big brand, but Nike will have different keywords they're trying to be searchable for. Specifically, if they have like black boots coming out or black shoes, you don't want to be so generic, but something that has to either do with a brand, or if they're trying to be searched for a specific product. So you can either put your domain, the URL, or the keyword of the specific company. And I'm just going to do Nike really quickly so you guys can see how the tool works and what are the information and the metrics we'll be able to offer you guys. We not only have United States, but we have United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, France, Spain, and a lot of South America and Asia. So they're keywords that you can work from within the US, but you can have understanding from different languages. So you can pretty much understand it globally and exchange your content for it to be for multiple languages. So our keyword magic tool, pretty much you can put a keyword. I put Nike, let's just put Nike. And if you guys have any questions, meanwhile I go with the tool, just let me know. Okay, so this is just a specific just the word Nike. As you can see, it could be Nike shoes, Nike Air Max, Nike Outlet, Nike.com, Air Force, and we can go more in depth. But this is just the brand that I just want to show you guys. I'm just going to put the database in the United States, currency USD, because that's where we want to pretty much get the information. And then here we see the volume. The volume means that how many times these people are actually asking for this specific keyword, right? And if it's trending, again, this is just for Nike, but you can do this for something for a smaller website, or if you're trying to basically push out a blog, you can put other things, but just so you guys can have an understanding. The keyword difficulty, meaning that this keyword is battling with itself a lot. So this is another note that you guys might have to take into account is sometimes a lot of companies try to create content and they have different tabs within their own website and they kind of battle with each other with their keywords. And they think that they're doing the right thing because Google says, oh, my website says Nike a million times. So I basically own the word Nike. But then Google understands that you're trying to basically just put Nike everywhere and that's your keyword, and that's not the best way to do so. Okay, just make sure. Yeah.
There's a question in the chat. How do you use the tool for the industry? Example, wellness.
I see. Okay, so within wellness, you mean like holistic or like gym?
Nicole, if it's okay, I had asked the
Yeah.
question. This was
Yeah, go ahead.
So for example, if we take gym and
okay.
fitness.
So let's do within the gym, what would be this one thing that would make your gym that you really want to outshine, that you want this main focus?
So if we're
Weights?
looking for Pilates and yoga or something like that.
Okay, so let's do Pilates. So this is, like I said, this is just one keyword that has to do within your business, but you would want to do a longer match. So that phrase is specifically for your website. But this is, I'm just going to go overview Pilates. So yeah, so you see it would be either Pilates, you can see the volume, the trend, keyword difficulty. So I wouldn't do anything that's higher than 76. I'd probably do around 50. This is just organic. So of course, if you're trying to be searching, your purpose of the searching is for you to bring in business, I would create like Pilates near me, or if you want to create a blog within Pilates as why it's so beneficial for your clients, I would answer the question, what is Pilates? And that would be part of my content. Or if you upload the websites right now, since you're doing something online, I would do a Pilates workout online, since I see that the volume is high, but the difficulty is, let's see, something lower, like Pilates chair, if it's relevant, of course. This is something that you have to search on for yourself. And then CPC, this is if you're going to be creating an ad. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So basically you're saying that the tougher the word, the less it will be searched.
No, the tougher the word, the harder it is. You're going to be competing with somebody else with the same word. Okay. So maybe, yes. So the point is for you to be as detailed as possible for your business. So they know Pilates, let's say, I'm sorry, what's your name? Let's say Pilates for Nicole's Pilates class for beginners and Nicole Pons. So I'm making it super specific that people that are going to be searching Pilates for class, maybe mine will pop up. But because I have multiple keywords within that are helping more searchable, but it's really narrowed to my business. But of course, it depends on what the concept of the website is going to be. Are you going to be just doing classes on there? Are you going to be creating as a blog? Are you going to be selling specific Pilates stuff? So it really depends on the concept of your website, if that makes a little bit more sense.
I got it. Yeah, I got some help on the chat as well. So thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. Okay. Yep. So that's pretty much it from here. That's what I mean, the keyword magic tool. They do phrase matches as well. And this is when you're also creating content. So something that's close to what Pilates is. My favorite is questions, because a lot of people are maybe asking questions before they actually end up to your Pilates class, let's say. So maybe people that are interested in what is Pilates, they're looking for questions that are related to that and might end up in your site because you're answering those questions to the public.
Cool.
So yes?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So one thing that I find is these keyword research tools, you're moving away from trying to understand, you don't have that core of customer behavior. So you haven't necessarily, maybe in some cases, understood your persona, your target audience, what benefits they're seeking. So one thing that I'll tell you that bugs me a bit about keyword tools is the AI just takes over and generates, to some extent, a lot of it just is crap. Do you have a notion before you begin your keyword research where you do some sort of workup? Would you recommend that, or what's your feeling? Or do you think somebody could just go straight to the tools and take the AI?
Yeah, so I guess it depends on what direction you're coming from. But if you really want to start from the beginning, this is just for understanding of how the keywords searchable for the SEO. I would probably start with traffic analytics, which traffic analytics, this is an add-on if you guys are interested. I will add it on for you guys because it's an extra cost. But let's see, like Nike.com. And what we do is pretty much understand everything that you just said, Garrett. An overview of what is our audience, where is the traffic coming from. But this is for people that have already an established website, not for people that are just basically, if I just launched my domain a day ago, I have no collected data. So I would probably start from here and then understand what is my audience, where is the traffic coming from. Yeah, so you see Google, YouTube, Facebook. So I know these are the search, people are being searched on those specific places. Then the traffic journey, which is really important. So I know that it's direct search that people are asking for, and search in general, right? And then what specifically are they not just searching for me, but what other domains are they searching for? As you can see here, like Nike.com, they go directly, but also Google, and then Criteo, DoubleClick, which are other search pretty much. And then from there, we can see our top pages. So I would say like understand a bit more of where the traffic, and how you said an audience understanding of pretty much everything, how many people are visiting my site and all that stuff. And then from there, I would have a generic understanding, okay, people are probably coming in through more direct. So why, it's all based of kind of, I would say, understanding the data and then really pushing it through, if that answers your question.
That does, I guess so. Yeah, you're kind of jumping one layer past the consumer behavior, but I see
Right.
where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. It's good. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So that I'll just cover that keyword. That's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer that. But keyword overview, I'll go a little bit over that too. I'll just do Nike again. So this is for the one specific keyword. You can get all the information that basically was coming up on the magic tool, the volume, the difficulty, variations, questions related to keywords. This kind of helps you, as you were saying, Garrett, pretty much what people are asking based on specifically that one keyword. So I'll help you kind of create content globally, not US, but also in France, UK, Brazil, and if you want to create an advertising campaign on here as well. Cool. So after you do keyword research, as we mentioned, I mentioned the keyword magic tool. We have over 20 billion keywords, and we pretty much create all our data is from third-party providers from 118 countries, different groups, verse search optimization, which is the question and featured snippet. What I mentioned earlier about voice search optimization, we know that Alexa is like really, really big now. And when we ask questions with Siri and all that, now our metrics of understanding how to ask questions, and it's not just within our desktop, but also voice as well. And here's just a little bit again about the keyword magic tool and keyword overlap. Basically, this is in between if you're overlapping with other companies that are kind of competing with the same keywords, as you can see on here. David Jones and Cotton On, they're two clothing companies, and they're pretty much bidding for competitors, or they're trying to compete for the same keywords, as you can see. And number one means that they have the highest ranking. Number two is that they have the second, meaning that it could be above the 10, below the 10 top searched. 10 interesting questions for just David Jones online. Basically, this goes back to the voice search optimization, is what is my consumer asking for, and to answer those questions in order for them to end up on my website. So where can I buy the best plus size clothing? It doesn't mean I'm not mentioning David Jones on there, but I'm answering questions within my market that I can help them bring more traffic to me. I'm just going to present really quickly. We'll go back to the tool. Okay, so voice search will play a very important role in discovering new users at one point. We've seen the huge jump in difference nowadays because of how everybody is really just now a little bit lazier than to type things out or just saying it voice-wise. And we created a Semrush voice search study. And we came up with that 80% of all the answers came from SERP features. SERP features are like if you're Googling something, it would be the top courses that come up on there in a box. And 70% of them are appearing in feature snippets, and 11.5 of them are from people also ask. People also ask if you're asking best pizza recipe. There's sometimes a pull down that has around 3 to 4 answers of people that are asking the similar questions or that are asking something close to it. How to rank for voice search key findings. So text needs to be simple and understandable. As how we were saying, when we're basically asking for something, it's like we're talking to our friends on the voice. Answers page should be quicker than average in SERP. And I'll share with you guys a link of something a reason why sometimes our websites are not loading as fast as we would like to. And well-linked pages favored both in internal and external. So tools that help with the feature snippet and PAs, which PAs are people also ask questions. And I'm going to show you that this tool really quickly. So our topic research, let me just minimize this really quickly. Our topic research tool is also really, really big. I'll just open it up really quickly. So this goes back into, you already understand your audience and what you're trying to answer to your public. So I'm gonna just continue with the example of Pilates. So we're probably in the same topic. So we analyze what people are asking for within something with Pilates. And this helps you create a content strategy if you're creating content within your website, as in a blog or separate site for you to create a community sense, but also answering the questions for your public. So this gives you content ideas based on the topic that you're trying to create. So let's say right now we're just talking about Pilates. It'll pull up different questions, different topics. What are people searching for that is similar to that specific keyword or something around it? And you can see them here as cards. A lot of people that are content writers love this tool for this specific reason. You can also search content on different domains, but this is basically just to get different ideas on what you could write about. And that's another way to increase your SEO visibility. So sure.
Sorry, I just wondering if I could make a comment/question.
Sure.
Your examples so far, when someone knows about a specific brand like Nike, and that's a solution, and Pilates here is also a solution. Whereas I think with our types of companies, because we're being innovative, people don't necessarily know that our solution exists. That's the nature of innovating a solution, right? And so perhaps some examples about what kinds of questions people may be asking, more related to the problem. Right? So Pilates is an answer. What kind of questions would people ask? And are you able to maybe give an example like that? If it helps to give an example, I'll call up my friend Diana. She's got a really cool jacket strap that helps people hold their jackets when they just don't have the hands free, right? And she has a struggle of, well, what on earth are people searching for and what can she learn? You know, so yes, I can see how people asking questions would help. Maybe you could, do you have any guidance there? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So the reason why I pulled out these topics is because they have more data around it. That's why, so you guys can see more things. But for example, what you're just mentioning right now, your company has a solution, and the solution is jacket straps, right? So I don't know if we probably have something on jacket straps, but if that's a solution, we create a topic on it, and based on that topic, the data that we combine within that we have together, we would pull up what are people searching around that. So let's say if I'm trying to find the best iPhone solution to a crack screen, I would put my topic crack screen and see what are the topics around there that are answering the public for that specific solution. Does that make sense?
So do you mind putting that in exactly, like cracked screen?
Yeah.
Because again, that's very different, right? You're looking at a problem/question as opposed to,
Right.
I know the solution I'm looking for. I'm just trying to shop for the best solution. You know, and it's not like we're trying to create affiliate websites or we go, okay, we just want to sell anything in Pilates and I want to know what's the best thing to sell in Pilates. That's not really our approach here, which I recognize a lot of people who would use this tool maybe are affiliate marketers, right? So just wanted to throw that distinction out there. Might help us a bit better.
So
Sure.
Nicole, just as your worker to so understand, so essentially this is like a Google Analytics for the entire internet. Would that be?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
But the difference is with Google Analytics that they don't show you the first two top where the most of your basically your metrics is coming from. We pull up everything, so you're able to pretty much analyze everything from beginning to end.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of looking like Google Analytics would be on a site, but you're basically getting content from the entire internet. So
Yeah.
you must be compiling every website in the planet and doing it that way and making them all into one big beast.
Exactly. That's pretty much it. So nothing's pulling up for crack screen, but let's see, maybe keyword, we'll go to the keyword research since I did it for, and then we'll get some questions from there. So cracked screen. Okay, and I'm gonna do questions, which is something similar that we're doing in topic research. Okay, this is the strategy that I would do, but of course, this is something that everybody has their own way. But so I am finding a solution to people that have a cracked screen, right? So I would put cracked screen, and then here I would pull up all the questions. It could be broad match, or it could be a specific phrase. Let's say if it's cracked screen for iPhone X. Maybe too long. Okay, And now we're really, really detailed, right? So now I understand, probably I want to answer the question, how to fix a cracked iPhone screen, or how much is it to fix a cracked iPhone screen? I can answer these questions with leading them to my site. And I see that the volume, the difficulty is high, but at least I know that it's organic and that I can probably rank for this, if that makes sense. And I don't have to just put correct all the keywords, but it could be a replacement.
So Nicole, on this here, so I know that one
Yes.
test that I use, if I find a keyword phrase has less than about 500 page impressions, even up to 1 million on that keyword phrase, it's just a hack. I will know that if I do Yoast to perfect SEO, I can get that term. Is there, so the KD versus the volume, is there a magic to numbers that you know if you do a perfectly SEO page, you got a chance to jump to the top?
No, to be honest. It's because you're basically understanding the data analytics. For example, Semrush doesn't tell you you need to use this keyword to rank on the top 10. It gives you what's happening and everything on the internet for you to take out that information and that data, analyze it, and then create your strategy. But there's no jump fixed tool that says, okay, because this is the best one that you need to use right now because everybody is trying to battle for it and you should use it at the moment. Does that make sense?
So yeah, so basically what I'm getting though, then maybe a KD around 50 gives you a damn good chance to get that thing on the front.
Yeah, I would never, exactly. I would do 50 and above. I would never do 90% because 90% means really, really high difficulty of ranking. So I would do around 50 to 80 around there.
Okay, so you can use that number as a general. Okay, thank you.
And if there's nothing applicable, meaning that we don't have that much information on there, so I wouldn't even use it. So I would narrow down crack screen to get more information off those keywords. Yeah, so now we have a lot more that we're kind of playing with. And I can specifically see that the trend is going a little bit higher. So I would probably use this keyword more than I would use this one that is pretty much just flopping, going down. Do I have everybody? We're all still on the same page? Okay, cool. So I'll go back. So that's what the topic research question. I'm gonna use it as well for the example that I was just using, cracked screen. That way you guys can have a better view of it. Cool. So I was saying this is similar to the keyword tool that we were using, but this is just topics. So people that are pretty much creating questions or content that they're trying to answer the specific questions in order for you to create content for your website. And it's loading. Meanwhile, did I answer your questions correctly? You asked me about cracked screen. Am I going? Okay. So I'm not sure if you guys have used Ask the Public tool, but this is something very similar to it. So as we had the keyword crack screen, headliners that are really popular, and you'll see the green and it'll go down to gray. It's headliners that people are asking or searching for specifically that has something related to this specific keyword, which is this is a solution or what I'm trying to solve for people. So I know understanding of what Google people are searching is iPhone screen repair and replacement, fix iPhone screen, cracked cell phone screen. And you can see the same thing with questions, not just all, but how, can, is, and what. So if you answer these questions, or you can pretty much create this as a content, it's another way for you to become visible. Also with the PAA, which is people also ask, we would use these type of questions to answer a specific answer for them to end up on your website for that reason. And I will continue. So tips and tricks, use questions filter to optimize for word search. So as I was mentioning before, we're not just only in questions, and creating content with just questions is probably the best thing. Update metrics and look for the keyword difficulty, as we were checking right now with Garrett, the volume. The click potential is more the CPC, the CTR, and the CPC is for a paid ad, depending on your top 10 competitors. And another big factor is just the speed still matters. Performance of top 50 e-commerce websites or any website in general. And we notice that the fastest one is 0.457, average 2.51, all within seconds. And we know how important it is when we're jumping on someone's website. If it doesn't make, if it's a little bit laggy, we tend to either jump off or go to somebody else. And just a couple of examples of domains with their load time. Amazon, highest one, of course, eBay, Apple, Walmart, most of them are just e-commerce related. 101 milliseconds of waiting is enough for people to jump to another website, like I was mentioning. And here, this is mostly e-commerce related. And if you're trying to find a solution where you're selling something tech savvy, as you were saying a little bit earlier, the gigabytes really make a heavy weight on websites. And we can't tell the difference, but we can because of how heavy it is on the site for it to load. So Tiny PNG is a really great website for anybody you guys are trying to create content and adding images on there. It basically, what it does is it minimizes the size of the image that you have on your website in order for it to be a higher speed. So I would definitely write this one down if it's going to be feasible for your website or company. And be very careful with duplicated content. As I was mentioning a little bit earlier, you don't want to basically copy other people's content. They're a bad idea for your websites. Google understands when you're basically copying and pasting from somebody else, and you can get penalized for it. And that lowers your ranking and your viability of your website. So we have another tool that it shows you more than 70% of the original content. I will show you guys really quickly. And it's called the SEO Writing Assistant in Action. You can share this with anybody. That they don't need to have the tool. It will connect with Google Docs and show you this on the right side, and basically come together with if it's readable, if it's SEO friendly, if the tone of voice is great, if the originality of anything else on website is not at its highest or its best, and you can include the keywords that you're trying to rank for on there to see if that's what it pulls out with your SEO. So it ranks everything that you're writing on there. Every page of your website should be unique at all times. That's what Google is trying to basically search for us. The solution is to imply what is the original content. So is it not duplicated with another, and you don't want to have any integrations within Google. Here we have 3 different examples. They're the same thing, but they're duplicates with different keywords. So that's what it's important. And this one is pretty much canonical. So content management, our content marketing platform, the topic research tool that I just showed you guys, the SEO content template that I also just showed a snippet of it, with SEO writing assistant, which pretty much helps you make sure that all your SEO keywords and everything content, it's pre-approved by Google based on what we can see from whatever is happening on the website. And we have a content audit, which you can revise and improve your content on there. Our topic research tool again, which is really important for creating content, as was mentioned a bit earlier. And this is our SEO content template. Pretty much if you're creating blogs over, you can move in the sentimental related keywords, any backlinks, and it shows you the length, if it's readable for other people. And this is our SEO writing assistant, as I was mentioning a little bit earlier. And you can create a new template based on different keywords that you're trying to show for other people, open in Google Docs. And once you create all your content, it will pop up over here to the right as an add-on. And here you'll see all that information, if it's readable, if it's a good keyword, all that information. And this is our content audit. Basically, it pulls up all the content for your blog. You can put a domain on there and see if you need to rewrite or remove. This is for anybody that is a content creator for their website and they're trying to push their blog for a higher ranking. It pulls up the backlinks, how many people have shared, what the pages, the duration, all that sort. And link building, which is also crucial. And I said in the beginning that it's not for everybody on there. A lot of people don't either like doing this or they think it's time consuming for no reason. But link building, pretty much what it is if you have a brand mention on another website or another company, we have a tool, it's called brand mentions, and pulls up all, let's say where we're being mentioned, it's a semrush.com. And we have templates that you can outreach to people, and I will show you guys really quickly. This is just an example, but this is the domain in progress, prospects. So these are the people that I know that have mentioned me. So I can put them into progress to see where I'm mentioned and then select them. I get the list from there, monitor them. This has to be updated, of course. And I can reach out to them directly and ask them if I could be linked on there because it gives me more traffic to my site. Cool. So that's our backlink analytics. We have 31 trillion backlinks on there, and the audit, which is what I just mentioned, and then the workflow is to find them, outreach to them, and monitor them. Here we see it with more metrics. And these are analytics or the overview of the domain. And the link building tool. Once you have all the people that you want to have in progress, I didn't have in that group that I showed you guys, it didn't have much, but it should look like this. Once it's prospects, you go into progress, you monitor how many backlinks you have on there, and then you can outreach to them directly. From there, you add your Gmail, and then we have templates that you can send out already pretty much, like, please link to my website. You can change it if you'd like to, of course. Tips and tricks, I would use a authority score as a KPI for backlink analytics. Maybe this is really analytic for you guys. Not sure if you guys are going to be creating these campaigns, but it's important to know. Definitely need Google Analytics and GCS for this specifically. And before I continue, this is just the e-commerce marketing trend that I was mentioning to you guys. Do you guys have any questions? No questions?
Yeah, there's some questions here that came in from the registration form, and wanted to
Sure.
maybe run them by you. So for example, for someone that's just starting out, what would be some advice that you would provide in terms of them getting going on SEO?
Okay. But is this, they're starting their website completely, or their website's already running and they're trying to start SEO for them on their end?
I guess let's go with someone who is maybe has already their website, so they're sort of finalized it and they're looking now to get more traffic towards it, but they're a beginner.
Okay, beginner. So I would, let me close this really. I would start with traffic analytics. And I'll add this on for you guys so you guys can understand. Reason why I say traffic analytics is because you can really understand the traffic that's coming in for your website. And then from there, analyze that information and create another campaign with content. That would be my second thing. So creating content is the second way for you to become more visible. So you can answer things to the public. And from there, I would definitely go to topic research, like I was mentioning a little bit earlier, and answer questions. Understanding my audience, what is my solution that I'm trying to basically fix for other people? If I'm selling something, what am I trying to sell, and what would people search for in order for me to understand what they need, like my solution, for example.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
My Ramses, did you want to jump in and ask your question? You have your hands raised.
Sure, thank you. My question is about the backlink. What's the name of the tool again?
Backlink analytics.
Analytics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the tool probably works on actual links, not probably full mentions. For example, a full mention of a company. Would it be probably smart enough to recommend probably sites that have a full mention of your company without a link, and probably contact those sites to probably add the link itself?
Yeah, that's what we do. So for example, this is just the backlink analytics overall is for you to understand what backlinks you have on site, because not only if you have so I'll explain this in two ways. You can have brand mentions that are not links, which is what you just mentioned right now. So we have a brand mention tool that pulls up anybody on the site that basically is mentioning, let's say Nike. I can outreach to them and say, hey, why you're not linking me? I would like for you to link me. But backlink analytics, I'm just going to put Semrush really quickly because I know we have a couple. You can also have sites that are just linking to your name, and it could actually penalize you for it. So that's why you want to also outreach to those people as well, if that makes sense.
So you will get penalized for what, sorry?
If you're, for example, there are some websites that have a bunch of links, and Google doesn't create this domain that it's not a good domain. Let's say it's like really low ranking. And if you're linked on that website just because you're trying to add more backlinks, or some people, that's why it's like black hat, white hat, they ask for to be linked just for a random website, you can be penalized for it. But maybe sometimes you don't even know that this is happening to your company. So it's good to know, based on your domain, where you're being linked and understanding that specific metric.
Okay. And do you get a ranking of where that site is according to Google?
Yep. So once you get backlinks, you can see everywhere that you're being sourced and linked, and all the links on here.
Where is there a ranking on
here?
What beliefs?
These are things that you're lost.
Okay.
All that sort.
Okay.
So sponsored, Google doesn't like sponsored. These are the ones that you don't want, usually just follow.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. Okay, so no more questions?
I think we're okay. Yeah, actually, I got one more here for you. How often should keywords be re-evaluated, and should it depend based on the industry that you're operating on?
So on Keyword Manager, I would say weekly, monthly, and every 6 months. There's a saying that supposedly every 6 months is when you actually see some sort of movement within your SEO, but this is what people are, it's just a saying. I wouldn't really go by that. But on Keyword Manager, all the keywords that you have, I'm just going to pull up this list. You can move it on there as a bulk. Let's say this is my project for Lauren. I have all these 100 keywords that I want to keep track of, and I have the whole list on here. So I keep analyzing when was the last time it was changed, how is the volume going, if it's gone up to 1, the keyword difficulty, all that sort. So I would say weekly, bi-weekly, and then you can update it. This metric is all keywords. It's in real time, so I would definitely check this as much as you could. As a content planner or people that create content, they usually go monthly, and things that they see that they want to reevaluate their content, that they have keywords on there, then they should definitely revamp the whole website. But it depends how your team works. So now it's the same keywords, but now it updated it right now, as you see. How many clicks, volume, all that sort. Cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. I know this is a lot of information, and probably everybody that is starting off, they're a little bit confused. But once you start with your website and you do the first 3 things that I told you, it'll be so much easier for you to manage. And then after some time, understand the metrics that you're trying to optimize for. Cool. So
Curious, Nicole.
Yep.
So on your website or through the program itself, do you have like guided workflows or tutorials on workflows? As an example, Diego had mentioned, what do you do when you're new? So it might be nice to know exactly what the order of steps would be.
Yeah, so there's different, for example, because we have different platforms like SEO related, content related, like link building related, we have a keyword base, and it gives you guidance of what each tool does and recommendations of how to actually work with it. But again, I always have to say that it really depends on your market and what's your strategy and how you want to focus it on, because we pretty much collect all the data and all the understanding. It's just a matter for you to collect the data and understand how to implement it. But we do. I'll send you guys a link afterwards as well, so you guys can take a look.
Thank you.
Welcome. So I'm just going to end with our e-commerce, because I know we have a couple. We don't have that much time. So this is the data study for e-commerce that we went through. It's really interesting for anybody on here. We noticed the search keyword buy online went a huge spike up in March, but then actually neglected, meaning that people are no longer that interested in buying online. But for e-commerce websites, it went way up in October, and actually this is increasing even more now because of the Christmas and holidays, but it went down a little bit more. The fastest growing e-commerce categories by traffic, believe it or not, home and garden was the biggest one, then food and groceries, and then sports and outdoors. And traffic sources for e-commerce, the biggest ones obviously always direct, and then search, and afterwards referral. Social is for any, if you guys are wondering, it's social media platforms. And brand and non-traffic for e-commerce, the highest one was pets and products and home and garden. So we came to the conclusion that a lot of people were gardening and doing home renovations during the pandemic, and still are. popular call to actions across e-commerce categories in 2020. These are specific keywords that are catching people's attention. So I would say for gift, flowers, fashion, pets, home garden, most everything that we saw together, it was overall pretty much customer consumer and how to answer people's questions. And that's it for you guys. If you have any questions, please, you guys can open up your mic. I'm happy to answer. I know it's probably a lot of information about the tool and different strategies. I just kind of went over how to use them. Implementing them based on your business, it's of course your discretion. Yes, Ramses.
I just want to confirm, sorry, the numbers that you were mentioning in the stats before, are they all organic or they're combined?
Which stats?
The percentages in e-commerce, the last couple of slides.
Let me just go back. Their percentages.
I think he's asking if they are based off of organic traffic or paid.
Oh, all organic.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Nicole, so
yeah.
I was trying to find like Semrush for Dummies. I was trying to get a super overview. I know your website's there and you've got some, but is there like a definitive guide to Semrush, everything in a book or a manual?
There's a knowledge base.
Yeah, I saw that. I got to kind of slice around. Just wanted the big beast that I could see everything of the beast.
Okay, so that's why, since we have so many tools within the tool.
Okay, you're gonna make me work for
it. I know it's really hard for us to go overview because I want you guys to understand how to analyze the data, but there is no way for us to tell you this is what you should do beginning to end, because there's so many ways or different avenues. Garrett, I'm sure you know, there's so many avenues how you can do everything. So potentially I'm trying to provide you guys the tool in order to create the plan of how you want to take it. I know it's a lot.
We're ready for your book then. I'm going to look for Nicole. I want your book, SEMrush for Dummies. I want to see your book out.
I think I'm gonna have to work on that, right? Yeah, probably per different markets in the company. I would say for my suggestion is because I've done it for myself and it's helped me. It's really to start working on content and specific keywords. Focus on that for, I would say, 3-4 months if you're just starting your website. Really see if that's working within your audience and if that's actually getting some visibility. If it's not, then you need to change it up and just focus on that organically first.
And I found your overview thing. You could tell me if I'm helping you out, Nicole, if that's the link everybody should start. We'll see on the chat.
Let me see.
I think that's where you're supposed to begin, but you can tell us.
Yeah, I can send everything to you guys afterwards as well. I don't see it, but.
Yeah, Gary, I don't know if you posted it to everyone or you sent.
Oh, sorry, I did. Okay, let me, somebody just do that. Nicole's gonna.
And maybe it's a good time, Nicole, for you to put the registration form for the access to the platform. There it is.
So these are the forms. The Academy course is if you want to be basically certified within Semrush and specific tools within Semrush. So I would highly recommend it if you guys want to go really intricate in how to do your workflows. But again, it doesn't give you a whole strategy on its own. It's basically how to use the tools on specifically in more detail. And it's maybe 1.5 hours to 3.2 really overview.
Yep. I'm also going to point everyone to, so there's a couple of resources that I think would serve as a good next step, because while using the tool is obviously very important, I think having a sound strategy is probably a better starting point. And so there's a couple of things that I want to just mention. If you happen to be an Edge member, make sure that you, and if you're in the right program, you get access to this benefit, is make sure that you connect with Garrett, so that you can maybe talk strategy a little bit as you plan out how to get your content out there. And Garrett also will be able to kind of walk you through that on a one-on-one. In addition to that, I'm pointing you to Edge's Eventbrite page, where you can find various events that are related to the journey of entrepreneurship in its many dimensions. One of them that I wanted to point to you is coming up actually February 3rd. It's about conducting market research, something that you may want to look from a strategic standpoint if you happen to be at a very early starting point, or if you just happen to want to do a little bit more research, whether that's tactics around primary or secondary research. The second one that I want to point your attention to is one that actually the man himself, Garrett, I believe, is going to be facilitating, which is Funnel Marketing 101, and it's happening February 24th. Make sure to register to that one. I think the benefit of going to that one, especially if you get a chance to play around with the SEMrush tool, you'll have a good month or 3 weeks to play around with the tool, and then come to that Funnel Marketing 101 to sharpen up how to best approach your marketing funnel. And Gary will be able to also walk you through that. So just pointing that out for Edge members. And if you're not an Edge member, feel free to reach out to us. If Tiana, if you can repost the email to our inbox, and we can point you in the right direction as far as how to become a member at Edge. Aside from that, yeah, Nicole, I wanted to shift that back over to you to see if you had any other comments, questions.
Sure. Nope. All good for me. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Please fill up the form that I just sent in the chat. That way I can activate your 1 free month guru plan. This is really like an Edge collaboration. We really don't do this, so I would take advantage of that. If you guys have any questions, once you're taking it, this was like a brief overview. I know once you go into the tool, pretty much play with it as much as you'd like to. Have more questions, reach out to me, and I can help you guys out.
Nicole, can I just jump in? So that one link I did give, is that where you'd begin in the tools overview? You see that link I put into chat? Is that where they would begin?
I would say
where would
yes.
You say they begin?
Hold on. I will give you 1 second, and
okay.
I'm going to pull it up. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. And you guys can go on here. Which it gives you how-to articles and the Semrush toolkits, meaning everything that we went over today, but in more detail, and other tools as well that might be even beneficial for you.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. Scary, but cool.
I know it's a lot. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry if I bombarded you, if I maybe lost you at some point.
No. We know the beast. You've given us a taste of the beast.
Yeah, it's pretty much like seeing Google Analytics, but times 1,000, because we really, I know it's a little bit overwhelming, but I promise you, once you start playing with it and you have an understanding, you probably won't need any other tools. Like really, it's so, once you get play with it a little bit more and you have all your projects and you're pretty much tracking your site, you won't really need to jump on there other places, especially for content creation. If any of you guys are content writers for your companies.
And I'll back up with Nicole saying, like PCCX and Edge Client, I had the tool, I wasn't using it, so I let them use it. And that's when I was I bought the subscription for about a year and I never really used it. So I gave it to them and they used the tool and they had massively good results for Bitcoin and stuff. They used it really well. And I could say, Nicole, they loved it and they did really, really well with it. So I'll back up that. They were doing amazing. Like they were getting like Bitcoin Canada, like getting really short tails by using all the pieces, and they own the space.
Yeah. Well, I think we maybe can go to exactly.
So we really provide you with all the data possible. Yep.
So I just want to maybe then wrap up and ensure that everyone here has gotten a chance to get their comments, questions answered. So I think part of the role here for Mentor Mondays is to be able to continue to bring people like Nicole and Garrett to sort of share their perspective, and also an opportunity to connect with more of a peer to peer. With that in mind, I want to thank you, Nicole, for stopping by and sharing the overview and the one-on-one around Semrush. Like you said, I think it'd be great to to play around with it. I think it's probably the best bet, especially with these technical tools, just to get your hands in there and play around with it. And of course, reach out to us for any questions that you may have. Our inbox is in there. Reach out to Nicole through that form, and as well as Garrett. I'm more than happy to point you in the right direction. Aside from that, Nicole, any other last words? Garrett, Tiana, or anybody else have any other comments?
Well, I just wanted to thank you guys for having me on. I hope I didn't scare anybody away. It's been a pleasure. And if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me directly at I'll put my email here. And that's pretty much it. I wish you guys all the best.
Thanks, Nicole. We appreciate it.
Appreciate the time, Nicole.
Pleasure.
Lastly, you will most likely get, Tiana will most likely be sending you, a post session email with more information, the recording once it gets approved by Semrush and its team. And then you also get access to, well, you get a feedback form. It would be great to get your thoughts around how to improve and how to make these Mentor Monday sessions more meaningful to you. So much appreciated if you could fill that up. And that is it. Someone's asking if you can connect, if people can connect with you on LinkedIn, Nicole.
Yeah, definitely. I'll drop my link really quickly. And here we go. My pleasure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're going to be wrapping up now, and hope everyone has a wonderful day ahead. Tiana, is there anything else I'm missing here?
I think we're good to go.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for your help as well, Tiana.
Bye, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Bye, Garrett.
Bye.
Bye, Crystal. Bye, Maria. Bye, everyone.
I hope I didn't scare them away.
I mean, it was an overview, right? I mean, I wasn't expecting you to just go, I think you went into really good detail.